And we're back with some more oxygen not included. And today is a good day. The rocket chimney is being productive. I did a tiny bit of work in the background and I moved our little steam harvesting to down here in the middle. Just there's higher quantity of steam pressure, it pushes all the way to the end, and all the steam turbines are working at full capacity, extracting a full 6 kilos of water per second. This 6 kilos alone pays for the entire operation of the steam turbine and all of the oxygen for our dupes. All of our dupes are getting oxygenated, all our rockets are getting launched off those 6 kilos alone. All the rest of the water from all of our sources on the map, all that's free. That's just extra water we're dumping into, well, the rising liquid tank. And so far that liquid lock is holding. It should continue to hold. That is the hope. As it slowly starts to swallow this entire area. I've double checked these things, but I keep going back and triple checking these because I just know I'm going to forget something. Something's going to flood, and it's going to be really hard to recover a flooded area. This just seems ridiculous. It's a giant steam room in the middle of a just an undersea steam room. It works. I suppose that's all that counts. Oh, at some point, what we could do is come down here and say build in some blocks, a liquid pump, a gas pump, and seal it in. And then we could use the gas pump to, well, the liquid pump to pump out all the water. That would take the fan out of the water, and then the gas pump could pump out all of the gases, and that would make a vacuum seal the whole way around this. Not sure it's necessary, but it might be a little fun side project to try at some point. But for now, what we want to do is, start really condensing these down. What I want to do is switch over to a 3-layer with aquatuner, as in this here is a 2-layer. We've got one aquatuner and it cools down 2 sets of steam turbines. I was going to make this place much more productive, but I decided to move the harvesting down lower because it made more sense. There's higher pressure down there and it's easier to do. And up here we can just harvest heat. So anyway, this is one aquatuner for 2 layers. I want to switch. This one's one aquatuner for 4 layers. I want to switch this over to 3, which means I need to break in here, install an aquatuner, shorten the cooling loop, and switch it over to supercoolant. I let this run for a bit overnight. My computer crashed out again. I'm definitely going to do something about that. But we've got enough supercoolant now at about 7 tons that we should be able to completely switch this layer over. Now, breaking in here compared, this is a vacuum seal here. This is a roiling hot mass of steam. This is another roiling hot mass of steam. And we need to somehow get in here, do all the changes without letting any of the steam out, preferably. This is all very fine. We are going to depend on about 23 kilos of visco gel to hold back all of the steam in this room. So we're going to remove that tile. We'll be like, go in, service the room, hopefully without any of that getting out. Should be fine. Done this sort of thing before, plenty of times. Yeah, it's grand. Absolutely fine. But maybe let's do this really quickly. So what we've done in here is we've set up all the piping to switch this over to a 3-layer setup. This guy here is going to end up being drained. So you know what? We might turn off this. Ooh, actually no, we'll leave that on just a little bit longer. But once you start draining this out, we might have to drain this area. We're going to have to shut off those steam turbines. Guys, anyone want to get in there? You know what? Let's just make these all a priority 6. Priority 6 all around. There's the team. Even our crop guy is here? Why? Filmmaker freak, get back to managing the crops. You're not supposed to be at here building. Even our cook is here. People must have really caught up with everything. What are we at? We got 70 million calories. Yeah, that'll probably do for a while. Yeah. Once the last of this is in, get me some heavy watt steel wires there. The amount of steel we have is just ludicrous. We are up to 232 tons. In fact, it's so plentiful, I started using it as temperature shift plates in here. There's a whole bunch of steel temperature shift plates to help even the temperature out. We're going to have to cover a bunch of this tunnel in steel temperature shift plates, and we should have the material to afford it as well. All right, you guys done? Come on, get me the last one done. Jack died will currently be along. Done. All right, in that case, seal this. Oh, nope. Give me a level 8 sweep command. I'm going to need an emergency evac on that steel, please. Yep. Then we'll seal this area up. Once that's sealed, we can start, well, we've got all the prep work in place to remove the cooling loop and switch it entirely over to a supercoolant-based loop. There we go. Just about sealed. In which case, we can start doing this. You connect there. Sever the line there. We don't care. Get rid of it all. Perfect. Then in that case, we're going to let the supercoolant or the nectar start to drain out, and we're going to start replacing it with supercoolant. Oh, actually, wait, no. We're going to trim this line and replace it with supercoolant. Are you done? Yeah, this one down here is done, in which case we can turn you off. You're done. We'll be switching you on back on in a bit. That one's going to be taking over duties for the ones below it, so these 3 steam turbines, these 3 steam turbines, and these 3 steam turbines will all get fed by that. It's going to be a little bit messy. It's the problem you get when you build something this big and don't design it in debug mode. Laziness on my part. But then again, it would have taken like dozens of hours to build one of these, even on a debug map, and then test it, and rather just get stuck in and get the problem solved. All right, we're going to have you come across like that. God, we're going to have to rewire this whole thing. So, you should come up like that. And you're going to come across here like that. Yeah. In fact, I think I might just drain the whole cooling loop before I do this. Otherwise, it's just going to get too complicated. Oh, I just realized I'm going to have to break in here, aren't I? I want to put the pipes up there. Do you know? No. We can do this. Yeah. That should work. So this will come up here like this, go across, go up, go across, go up, and go out. Yes, this can work, though I should probably also shut off all the rest of the steam turbines. So you need to go, and you need to go. Don't need you generating any more heat for steam turbines that are no longer getting cooled. Right, the way we're going to get in there is we're going to deconstruct that tile. That's a 2-tile high hop. Then you should be able to get in here. Since there's no gas pressure, and the door is going to disengage because it's finally got the room hot enough. And it's all off, so they should be able to build that piping up there and we can connect it. Then we can switch this whole system over. Okay. We can now make this work, right? Pretty handy. Okay. This is going to go like that. You are going to go like that. This is going to be severed here. Across, up, easy peasy. Nope. We got to sever you there. Then you're going to go up. You're going to connect there. Then you're going to go across to that side. Sever again. We're going to connect you up there. Cancel any overwriting that might be going on at any of these corners. If I, try to do insulated pipe over whatever pipe or vice versa. Connect those two there and connect you back to there. And finally cancel any overrides that might have happened. I think that's it. Yep, should go all the way around, up and about. Now we're going to set you to, if the temperature is above that much, turn on. We want to leave you off to start. And then we're going to fill you up from a whole bunch of these fancy new bottle emptier things. Tell you what, we're going to limit you to 2 at the start. Perfect. That way these will be empty first, and then they'll start requesting refills. And the moment they request refills, the rest of them should have taken up the slack. Done. And that is one finished cooling loop. Easy peasy, easy peasy. I just want to sever this first before I turn this on. It just prevents jammings from happening in the future, potentially. But that, and we can leave those there. I think we're going to be filling a loop down here shortly anyway. You finished? Come on. Oh, that also reminds me, we can set those to deconstruct. I have no idea where the rocks are going to end up. Actually, you know what? Those ones can stay there. It's fine. Then we can deconstruct that ladder segment, scrape it out, put in a insulated rock tile. Okay, that is better. I've set everything here to 200C, which, you know what? I want to try something. Let me back in here real quick. Probably shouldn't be doing this. The thing is, I've been using gold tiles here to help suck the heat across. It's got pretty good thermal conductivity. We got lots of it lying around the place, and I thought, why not? It's always good for thermal injection. It's well controlled. But I want to try out diamond tiles. Diamond tiles is what I traditionally use, and I think they're just better at pulling the heat across. And yeah, I don't know, there's something about diamond tiles and their thermal conductivity is better, their specific heat capacity is way higher, and I think that's really a lot more helpful in this scenario. Done and done. Now we'll sweep this out. We'll close it up and we'll see if that makes a difference. I do believe the diamond tiles are better for that heat transfer. That means we're gonna need to change a lot of them. Every single last one we're gonna have to break in. So, first things first. When you face a large project like this, just consider all the annoyances you're going to be facing. For this one, the problem you face is putting in the viscogel locks. You have to move the power wires out of the way. So instead, we're just going to run an entire power spine adjacent to this one. We're going to, that way we can delete this power spine and we can start overwriting this area with the insulated tiles necessary that we can put the viscogel blobs on. Then we're going to need lots of viscogel blobs. Instead of moving them around with, say, bottle emptiers or something like that, we're going to use this system over here. Basically, I've got one of these pump systems. This thing, we fed it full of viscogel. The viscogel comes out, goes all the way to the end where the end of that bridge is. Once it gets to that end, we just sever it, and now we've got 10 kilo blobs of viscogel just sitting there in the pipes. Plumbing command, remove them, and then we'll have 10 kilo viscogel blobs sitting on the ground that we can move around and use to our heart's content. I was doing some dumb stuff earlier on where I was trying to get smaller blobs of viscogel, and like a moron, I was just like, oh, I'll put them into a bottle emptier, and then I'll stop the bottle emptier after it's poured a bit out, and then I'll mop up the No, just, I made my revelation when I was making blobs of supercoolant to stick on top of these transit tube crossings. So those 10 kilo blobs of supercoolant, I used the same method, and I'm like, why don't I just use that for the viscogel? That would be so much smarter. That would not be being stupid, Francis. But here we are. Okay, that will give us the viscogel blobs wherever they are. They're here, yes. Assuming someone gets around to that at some point in the future. Though I should probably make that a higher priority. I think only the farmer has that priority, so don't get that last one. You'll drop it down into the middle of nowhere. Then all we have to do is wait until the power wires are finished. Once the power wires are finished, we can start putting in the blobs. We'll start at the top, work our way down. Though, actually, these top ones are easier. Yeah, you see, these ones here, we can come in from this side. If we delete these tiles, it doesn't really make a difference, because the gases that end up in here will get sucked into the vacuum of space. If we do it down here, we'll end up with steam gases trapped in here, and this would be a horrible mess that we would not be able to fix very easily. So for everything below this point, we'll have to break in with viscogel locks. Everything above this point, you can just break in from the outside. I think we'll wait until the power spine's done. There is a lot of construction going on right now, power spine-wise. Oh, there's currently a meteor shower going on at the moment, and you can see some of the snow meteor falling. Oh, and you know what happens when you put a snow meteor in a rocket chimney? The same thing that happens to all other ice-based things. They just immediately evaporate. The moment they touch anything, poof, gone. Oh, decor-wise, how are we looking? Yep. I mean, it's okay right now, but that definitely could be improved upon. It should get to the point that anyone who spends more than a couple of seconds down here will get their decor max for the day. Oh, though, then again, I suppose anyone who passes through this tunnel is going to have a worse day. Suppose we can just cover the map in those decor items, the one we're getting from space. We're going to have so many of them after a while. For some reason, Jenna keeps having these starvation warnings. They're standing there waiting to hand out balloons, and it's like, maybe go grab a snack? Yeah, there you go. Everyone's got enough balloons. You're fine. Power spine installed, or well, moved, I should say, all the way to the left. I've replaced all the ladders with plastic for faster movement. It's risky, though. If things get too hot in there, we're going to be stuck with a fire pole for movement only, and that gets uncomfortable. And over here, we just smashed in from this side, replaced diamond window tiles on both sides. I mean, why not? The only reason I use bunker tiles over here is sort of just out of habit almost, and plus we have a mass of steel. A few diamond window tiles on this side should help transfer the heat and make this just a little bit more conductive. But that's as low as we can go. You'll see there's like a bunch of steam in there, but that's slowly going to dissipate into the background of space, and we don't have to worry about heat transfer. Down here, we don't have the vacuum to work with, so we're going to have to get a little bit more creative about how we break in and patch things up. Oh, which reminds me, you've got to go as well. Before we start on that, though, I want to try and decrease the amount of, well, steam we're losing into the background of space. You'll notice here that this stuff is, well, venting out and then going a quite good distance over to the left there. You can see like that the steam is just, and that just gives it more surface area to dissipate over. We'd like to prevent that. So what we've got down, where is it here? Yeah, you. Give me 10 kgs of algae. We'll give this a try. We're going to relocate you to up here. Um, I'm going to need a bunker tile over here for this one as well. Just so that we have something with more heat transfer. So the theory would be put the algae there, then the algae will eventually cook and turn into dirt, and when it does, it gives us an extra tile of blockage. Then we'll place some more algae on top of that and see if we can't make another block tile. Or another block. You. Give me another one. And relocate as well. That relocate button just... It's such a great quality of life improvement. They've made a few quality of life improvements that I really like. For example, you're over here, you're looking at something, and an alert pops up and goes, oh, building entombment. So you click on it, you take care of the building entombment, and then you click camera return. See, the moment you click something, camera return pops up, and it pops you right back to where you were before you clicked one of the alerts. Saves a bunch of time. I don't know if entombed does it. Oh, even when I click the entombed one over here, it also gives me a camera return. You can click on the alerts now and then bounce back exactly to where you were instead of having to always take it. Oh, and we're done. We've already got dirt. Well, that was nice and fast. In that case, I'm gonna need more algae. And the thing is, the algae might turn into dirt and then just merge with the dirt below it, which could be a problem, but that's fine. We'll put one up there. We'll put another one over. Yeah, we can reach up there, right? Yeah, they're probably fine. By piling enough soil, or well, algae, by piling enough algae up here, we've managed to actually get it up to 2 tiles. I think. It still seems to be. Oh, wait, no, is that just dissipating? I think this side is just the leftover stuff dissipating. I put up 10 kilos first, then another 1,000, then another 1,000 on top of that, and it finally seems to have split into multiple tiles. Turns out you just throw enough mass at the problem, eventually it will solve it. So this will reduce the steam escape. We could put in doors, but then it gets really complicated because, well, the rockets are going to be launching and landing at all sorts of times. We'd have to put in a whole bunch of sensors. It's just simpler to let the stuff escape. It's a small enough area that, yes, we will lose steam, but we're still going to be able to harvest way more than we lose that way. Right now, we're only harvesting 6 kgs, but we've done a little bit more renovations down here. We've got another one up and running. You can be set to 200 degrees. Yep, this is another 3 that have been completely renovated. They've got their diamond window tiles in. They've got their plumbing redone. Now I have to rejig these 2 down here. This one is doing 4. We're going to have to reduce that to 3 and crank this one up to handle 3. Instead, yep, I really should have built this better to start, but it's fine. It's fine. Well, that's a few more done. We just need to do a whole bunch more. Every time I start modifying these things, I realize just the scale you have to get around to. All right, I gotta do like a lot of background stuff here, so I'm just gonna skip it forward while I rejig every single one of these steam turbine builds top to bottom and replace all the diamond tiles and replace all the pummeling, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. After many renovations, we have it all finished. Each steam turbine, well, each one of these aquatuners is now hooked up to 9 steam turbines instead of 12. Of course, by the time I finished this, I came up with a different idea that meant I shouldn't have probably done that at all, but it's fine. It's fine. We actually have a bit of a plan here. You see, the steam pressure here keeps rising. It's 129 kilos of pressure down there, and even as we go up towards the top, where we've sealed this off, it's like 39 kilos of pressure coming up here. So we need some way of bleeding off all of that excess steam and pulling it out of the system. So I figure massive steam turbines, chuck in a big lump of space, maybe 5 tiles of space for the steam pressure to escape out here, and then we can feed it into all of these steam turbines. That should be 16 kilos of water per second. And I mean, if we're pulling out too much steam, that's fine. It just means some of them won't run. And if we're not pulling out enough, well, we'll just do another layer. This should get us, well, lots and lots of steam. Just give me a few minutes here. We have redesigned this whole thing top to bottom. We're going to rip out this wall, let all that steam flood in there, and then we're going to harvest all that delicious water for our use. Now, to keep all of these cool, I've decided to put 3 aquatuners down here. Now, we don't need 3 aquatuners for this many steam turbines, but I figure if this is very successful and we still can't drain the steam fast enough, well, then we just put in another layer of steam turbines beneath it. And if we did that, it would kind of eat into this one. So instead of putting the 3 aquatuners there, I put them down here so that we have space for another build in here, just in case. And I think we're about ready to start plugging this in. Actually, let's make sure you guys don't turn on just yet. Yeah, this is like a whole mess, but it basically goes to 3 aquatuners. I hope. Have we also emptied this? Yes, I believe we have. In that case, get rid of that bridge, and then we can do a quick rejig on all the piping, jump on some supercoolant, and then we're just about ready to start it. So, first things first. None of these really need to be doing too much. You can go there. Sever. And that means, okay. So the plan would be liquid would go through here, come up, back around, straight up to the top. Oh, straight up to the top, across, and back and down around again. So we got to do a little bit of weirdness here. This is going to look a little bit odd to start because we're going back past the same steam turbines, but it's the way it worked out. These 3 steam turbines want to cool them first because they provide the cooling to the aqua tuners. If they were to go down, that would be problematic. All right, you go up there. We don't care about those 3 steam turbines. They're going to be disconnected. You're going to keep going up. You're going to keep going up. And yeah, I think the rest of them should flow on as needs be. Hey, wait, why are you going back that way? Nope, 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 nope. I want you to go up that way and around. Seriously? Fine, fine. We will put a bridge over here to ensure flow. Right, once that's in place, the whole thing should start reasonably moving. Okay, it's kind of moving. Why are you not... Oh, I've got that bridge on the wrong way. Fine. Right, so we get rid of that bridge, we flip it, and then the whole thing should be just about functional. Then we can bridge on some more supercoolant to finish it off. Loop filled, coolant applied. We've dumped in some extra water in here. It may have got removed at some point. You guys need to all be set to 5. And only one of you should really be on at a time. Maybe 2. What's this coming in at? 17 degrees. Yeah, it's grand. Perfect. Now we just have to seal in this top bit. Oh, actually, maybe sweep this place out first. We would like to keep those resources reasonably cool. Then we're going to have to apply oil up here. We're going to need petroleum, so we would like you to empty that and give us another 200 kgs of petroleum. We just want to transfer medium. I know we could use the thermal conduction panels, but they're just not as efficient, and it feels better to use it this way. Well, let's just say when I do this and I can look at all my steam turbines and see they're all icy cold, I like that. Well, except for these ones. But those ones will be removed shortly. I think it's time we turn this on. This is going to be a rather large amount of water injection. You guys all need to... Actually, wait. No, I'm doing that wrong. I want to put in backing tiles. Yep, there we go. Can't do it for the power. Okay, fine. We will deconstruct you and replace you with backing tiles. If we don't put in backing tiles, some of that stuff's going to start escaping into space. Right now, 39.9 kilos of pressure, or 39.7 on different spots. We're losing a lot to the background of space. I would prefer if all of that was getting dumped in here into these steam turbines as quickly as possible. Come on. Get in here and get this thing started. How much? Oh, okay, that's 2 steam turbines on already, and we've only removed, like, 1 block. Well, that seems to be slowly making its way across. What's the pressure here? It's dropped quite a bit. It's gone down by a full 10 kilos. We'll give that some more time and see what happens. Thing is, there's actually a limit to how much steam or how much gas can escape into the vacuum of space. So by limiting this, we've made sure that any excess steam is going to get shunted into this side. Now all we've got to do is just increase the amount of steam we generate. Right now, like these 5 steam turbines are working flat out. Yeah, all 5 of them. Which means that's 10 kilos of steam we're getting right there. And, oh, let's put a door right there. I'm concerned that a meteor might land in here at an angle and then splash some snow in here, which will block a ladder or, I don't know, make some sort of mess. But I figure we just hire, say, 7 or 8 more dupes and put ourselves in 7 or 8 more steam rockets. And I also have to kick this one into gear as well. This one's going to be going out to a Ring 4 or Band 4 planet for 4,000 kilometers or whatever the hell it is. That won't generate as much heat. And heat-wise, it's still a little bit warm down here. And then, yeah, it slowly sort of evens out as we go up. So what sort of happens is the majority of the steam is emitted down here on takeoff and landing. So it's a little bit hotter down here than it is up above. And then as that steam gets forced up via pressure, it has to go past more and more of these steam turbines, which are draining the heat out. I need to put in some more temperature shift plates for a bunch of these. In fact, I need to basically put strips of temperature shift plates all the way across, similar to over here. That'll help even out the steam pressure or steam temperature. So over here it's like 214 to 200, but over here it's like 189 to 185. Wait, what? What's going on? It seems to vary quite a bit, but temperature shift plates will help even out all of those kinks. Oh, and we have two of these set up already. These things are actually extracting water right now. Those two are extracting an extra six kilos of water. There's 6 kilos from there, 6 kilos from there, and another 10 kilos from the top of the map, which is a decent amount. That's what, 32 kilos? Yeah, wait, 22 kilos. So 22 kilos seems like a decent chunk of water to be getting out, and we got a little bit of extra stuff coming from this one as well. I'll have to see, though, if we're getting too much pressure. If we're draining too much pressure, the steam pressure here will start to drop and we'll notice. But I'm not too worried for now. I have no idea how, but oxygen ended up in here. That makes just no sense, but it's fine. We'll just take away a few tiles. The oxygen will bleed off. Like, how? How did oxygen get in here? There's no... the closest oxygen is over here. Even this section is all vacuum except for steam. So somehow... that makes no sense to me. No sense whatsoever, but fine. Few blocks are moved here. Stuff will bleed off into the background of space. Eventually it'll just be steam again. Though that is just weird. That is the weirdest thing. I was tempted to actually take off some tiles at the end, but then I thought I'd just be cooking stuff I don't need to. Anyway, this has, of course, eaten into water production, and steam pressure here is continuing to drop. I think it's time we started hiring some more dupes to fill the rockets with. Turns out we didn't have nearly as much steam pressure as I thought. This thing has actually calmed down quite a bit. We're down to less than 6 kilos per second out of this. All right. Well, okay, we're still getting 12 kilos from the bottom half because we've got two pipes working down there, or two full sets of 3 steam turbines extracting. This one here is not quite getting up to the 6 kilos, but it's about five and change. So we're only getting about 11 kilos of steam out of this, which means we need to, well, up production substantially. I've been doing a little bit of side cleaning up by getting rid of a few, excess piping and stuff like that. What I've decided to do is get rid of, where is it? This carbon dioxide cloud over here. This needs to go. It's kind of mildly annoying. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pump the gases from that all the way through here, across, over, and dump it over this carbon skimmer. I also have another carbon skimmer over here. Well, this is where my original carbon skimmer was, because it was at the bottom of the stairs. This one I moved over here because it was necessary, because we were getting carbon dioxide building up the corner. And I've put back in the science labs because, well, we've got data science now for some reason. I think it's because I may have installed the robotic DLC. Well, it was there. I mean, I'm not going to not install it, though I don't know if it makes any changes to an existing game. We'll see if any robotic duplicates show up in the gates. If they do, I mean, we'll have to grab one. Would you look at that? Carbon dioxide looking a little bit nicer down the bottom. I've had a few printing sessions since, even though I've got the DLC installed for the Bionics, I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think you can add it later in the game. Because right now, not seeing any Bionic duplicates showing up. It is unfortunate. However, we are looking for some more sarcophagi dupes, so we've got a suit wearing, with cooking, a suit wearing, a digging, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be sarcophagus 8 here. They can, well, they're going to have to level up first. The reason being we've got to get them high enough so that they can do the rocket skills. Well, I don't think the bionic duplicants would make that any faster, would we either? So this works-ish. Now, one thing I want to get started over here is increasing the steam pressure in here as quickly as possible. Namely, it's dropping quite quickly. We're extracting that as soon as it gets to the top. So we've actually hit the point where we're counteracting, well, all of the steam is not escaping in here. A whole bunch of it's escaping up there. And this can't eat an infinite amount of steam. So we just have to keep cranking up the pressure, which means more rockets, more steam pressure. And this one down here is just about ready to get started. What we're going to do is we're going to fill it full of oxygen and hydrogen, and then we're going to put it on a return trip to a planet with Rarity 5 artifacts. And there goes Meep on a round-trip journey to a ice planet where he's going to bring back Rarity 5 artifacts. These ones over here. Yeah, this place. So they'll pop back and forth to that. They won't be in and out quite as often as all the others. It's like a 10.9 cycle round trip, so water generation for that's going to be lower, but we will get more high-end artifacts. Speaking of which, yeah, the artifacts down here are pretty trash. But, decor-wise, once you have enough of them, it matters not. And this is just going to get worse. There's no way to dispose of these. But you can't just say, put all of these into a storage bin, because there's no option for that. You have to put them on pedestals. The game doesn't really expect you to get this many, or, well, the amount we're going to end up with. Now we just got to hire about Ooh, 7 more people, I think. Nope. Yes, Sarcophagus 8 is already working away, and I forgot to give them a skill. You immediately want your advanced research skill, buddy. Once you grab that, we'll hopefully have about 7 more buddies along for you in a little bit to help you out. Once we have 8 pilots fully trained, we're going to need 8 rockets for them, so we might as well put them together. There was a few suggestions that we should maybe use gas tanks to start pre-storing the gas. There's no point. This will fill like 2 gas pumps will fill a full gas pipe, and while we could even out the power load by putting 1 gas pump on, have a gas tank, and have stuff prepped so that when it lands, there's enough gas there to fill up the... Nah. We have power. We have lots and lots of spare power. And there's a giant, like, there's literally a power spine running down the entire side of the map plugged into all of that power. So we're good. We're good on the power front, and we don't really need to care about that. So we can just chuck in a couple of gas pumps and we'll be doing it. It saves us space, because otherwise we'd have to stick in a gas tank for each one of these. Too much effort. We're going to keep this nice and lean. Well, that's 8 rockets ready to go. Steam ones only, but we still have to put in the automation wire, but that's fine. Once we put in the gainways or gantries, once we put in the gantries so that the dupes on, then they can put in the automation wires. And then we can start launching them. I might land all of the steam rockets and then sort of trigger them so they all go in, just a nice organized fashion so that we don't have any chances of doing any more building. Problem is, when I was building up the floors to put these rocket bases in, sometimes rockets would land and just smash the landing pads, or rockets would get stuck beneath the landing pads and be unable to launch. So I'll have to do a little bit of resetting to get things timed out a little bit more evenly. And over here, we're up to, I believe, 6 dupes? Let me double check. Yeah, we've got Sarcophagus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 good to go. We just need to get 2 more dupes. I'm doing a tiny bit of restarting just so we can get ones with suit wearing, just to speed this along a little bit. But once we've got all of those done, we can just basically cram them into the rockets. That means all we have left to do is waterproofing and tidying up. Now, I'll probably have to do a whole episode just on cleaning up all the messes that are around the place. Like, we have power wiring down here that feeds the liquid pumps. Oh, and this needs to be fixed as well. You see, over here, we have an auto sweeper. That auto sweeper feeds the dream journals into the sodium synthesizer. That has overheated occasionally. So instead, what we do is we're just going to splice it onto this. There you go. Perfect. Might want to add in a little bit more supercoolant to that loop so that we don't have any gaps, but that can be fixed. There we go. Much better. Yeah, that's permanently solved, so I don't have to keep coming back and repairing that. Now all we need is another 3 duplicates to go into training, and then let the game run for a bit so that they can all get up to the required level, and then we can even start harvesting more water. Right now, we're getting a consistent 12 kgs from 2 stacks down there, and another, well, only 4 kgs now. We're definitely bleeding out that pressure. Nope, not going to worry about it. 12 kgs of extra water per second is fine for now, and once we have a few extra rockets in there, I'm sure that pressure will go back up again. Next episode, we're going to have to finish waterproofing the base. Like, all of this lower areas down here needs to be waterproofed. All of the transformers need to be moved indoors into somewhere, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to rip out a bunch of stuff here and replace it. And we're also going to be moving ethanol production up to space, so we can deal with the enormous amounts of carbon dioxide it produces without having to resort to, well, gas pumps. That should be fairly handy. Oh, and we're also going to have to deal with all the compost. Thing is, this drops polluted dirt. The polluted dirt has to be turned into Yep, that's a problem for tomorrow. Also, have to chill down all the trees to their operating temperature. They're going to get -18. We're going to set up a freezing loop, and we're going to freeze all these trees down to -60, so their output is -60. We're also going to increase the amount of plastic production to maybe eat through that backlog a little bit more, and hopefully get this place down to freezing temperatures. And we have to set up access, but there's still a lot of work to be done, but we have the time to do it. Flooding the map is going to take a bit of time, but I am quite... Like, if you look here, I remember when this water was not touching that oil well, and already we're past it. We flooded the entire thing, we flooded this area, and soon we're going to be up to... Well, once we get to about there, I'm going to call it a nice flooding, but we will have to wait until we get all the way to the top. And I'm hoping that nothing cracks when we're doing it. But that will be for the next episode. I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck.